let's talk about crow. Okay, crow is one of the most challenging postures for me when I was beginning my yoga practice. And I thought it was because I didn't have enough arm strength, let alone core strength. It just felt totally impossible. I felt like my butt was too big. It was just never going to happen. But I learned a couple of tricks that I'm going to share with you that I found incredibly helpful for me. Okay, so the number one thing that you want to keep in mind is that it's actually not so much an arm strength pose. You do need a little bit of arm strength, but it's actually a core strength pose. So when we're working on our core strength over time, we can kind of use that to come up into our crow. The other thing to think about is that the weight of your booty is sort of a part of this, but we're using physics to work with that and to balance that out. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I mean. So a lot of the time you'll see a crow entered into from squat. Okay, now I think this is impossible. Not impossible, it's just very hard. Your butt's way down low, you're trying to get your weight forward onto your hands, and you're just going to kind of slip down and find your way there. The other thing I often see is coming up towards crow and trying to get one foot at a time into it. Oh my goodness, that is so hard because you really need everything to be connected at the midline. And if you're stepping one foot and then the other, you keep breaking that line and you can't find the connection to the core. So here's how I like to do it. I get my butt up and I bring my toes together to touch. Okay, pressing the feet together is actually one of the ways of getting that midline going. So I'm placing my palms down a bit ahead of my toes. I'm spreading my toes, lifting my bum up, and then just my knees are widening. So just to show you from this perspective, here's what it looks like. Toes really close together, palms come down, butt lifts, toes lift, and the knees widen. I want to get my knees to my upper arms. There's a little special spot there where the inner knee connects with the upper arm, and kind of everyone has their own little lock and key spot for that. But the reason that's so important is because you're going to lock it in and you're going to really hug. I don't balance back here. Some people I know do that, but I think that just causes bruises and it doesn't give you any feedback. I want you to be squeezing your legs together like a vice. Okay, that's kind of how you find the strength for this. So I want to look way forward, hugging the knees in, toes together. And I'm looking so far forward that the weight of my heart is balancing the weight of my butt. The toes come up together. You do not break the line. Okay? Something I want you to notice. I'm not in this shape with my arms. I actually come forward until my forearm is straight up and down. My shoulders come forward a little bit, but I have this really solid structure right here in order to help me to balance everything else that's going on above. So it's like, I don't know, if you had sort of a circular thing, there would be a balance point right at the center of it, right? Not off on an angle, which is going to make you fall. So I'll show you again what that looks like. So toes together, hands a bit ahead, heels lift, knees lift, and I'm looking forward. If you look down, that's where you're going to go. Okay, you're going to go down. If you're looking forward, you're hugging in, press the toes together, forward, 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 toes lift together. Do not break that line. And then release. Here's another little secret. This one's quite fun for me. If you cross your ankles, a whole new thing happens and you might actually get a bit of a different feeling around what happens with your crow, okay? So I'll show you from the front. I like to come into this kind of from this IT band stretch that we do sometimes. And then I'm gonna lift my heels up and I'm gonna lock my ankles together and then come into the crow shape. When we can squeeze those ankles together really, really strongly, it helps us to find that core strength. So it's gonna look similar. Heels lift, lock together, lean forward, find that lock and key spot, look forward, 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 and then you're squeezing your ankles like your life depended on it. And is it ever easier? It really is. You can find your core. Then you can release and come down. Et voila. That's your crow.